I am very happy to have Mattia, who will talk about reproducibility, and it's your stage.
Thank you. Here is my talk about like what's missing in Debian. And first of all, welcome everybody to DebConf. This is the first day, and it's quite kind of scary for me to be talking the first day of DebConf, because of course nothing is ready the first day, as we can see. Also, the reproducible build project in Debian has been going on for many years, and as you can see, here is a bunch of people who contributed to the project. This is not completed. I'm sure there were like dozens of people that are not on this list. If you want to be next year list, come to us, because this slide has been unchanged in years. So, also, who am I? I'm in the Debian community for more than a decade now, or nearly so, and I've been working in reproducible Debian for also nearly a decade, pretty much since it started. So, reproducible builds. First of all, who doesn't know what reproducible builds is or means? Like, perfect. Everybody knows about it, because I'm not going to explain it. This is a short talk, and there is no time, and I think everybody is bored of listening about what the reproducible builds mean. So, some other projects. First of all, like different projects took different approaches to what the reproducibility means for them. Some projects put boundaries in what they're testing. Some projects put different policies on them. So some are just testing and doing nothing else, like we are in Debian. Some other are quite strict in what it means for them. So they are actually verifying the builds before publishing them. And then there is like everything in between. Also, the approach might be different. So in Debian, we went on like making the build as neutral as possible, so not incorporating build details, whereas other are like not normalizing the build environment and saving it. Yeah. So, but this is still like ongoing work. Also in Debian, the definition changed over time. Well, not the definition, but the approach changed over time, and it's still changing. For example, like last week, I believe, we stopped varying the build path in unstable, because yeah, it's just annoying. And what about the policies? As I say, this is mostly in Debian. This is it's like many people work in Debian. Many people are making decision, or nobody are making decision, as you want to see it. And so we need to decide what to do. Like, going to 100%, whatever that means, is like deciding what we want to do with the project, deciding if you want to kick out packages, deciding what you want to asset your distribution, and this is different for different projects. Like, I don't know, Bitcoin and Tor or other projects like that, they are verifying their builds. They are not publishing them if they are not verified, and that's quite not possible. In Debian, it can change. So, as I said, in Debian, we've been working on this for 10 years. It's a lot of time. And first of all, there was a BOF in 2013, and then test, and then FOSDEM for like the wider community. I wasn't at FOSDEM in 2015, but I've been told that the audience was pretty wild about listening to these stories. The audience are not wild anymore. Like, yeah, you're not screaming at me, so obviously not wild. And then we got like more tools like Diffoscope, which helped quite a lot over the years. Also, we started meeting each other, like the Geeks people. I don't know if the person before me was actually like involved in Geeks, but we meet once a year more or less and like talk about what's going on and what can be done better. And we are still doing that, and we are still also doing this year. So if people interested want to come, we'll come. We are in Hamburg this year. And yeah, some pictures here. Like, as you see, people actually working together, not just talking. This is mostly from Holger from the past years. He kind of nicknamed the Debian distribution, how the reproducibility improved over the years. We went from just theory to actually practically, but not actually done, which is, I mean, could be better, but since Debian took 2 years mostly per release, it's like 2, 4, 6, 8 years, and we're still in theory. And as such, I hope like the next year release that is like 1.5 years now before freeze, it's hopefully better. So what is stopping Debian from being fully reproducible? I kind of found 4 points here that I'm going to unveil, but like the too long to treat version is mostly a community issue because Debian is made of many teams, is made of many stakeholders that actually care about what they're working on, and it's hard to work together mostly. So first of all, just a point, when I wrote these slides, Debian Trixie, so the current testing, is marked at 94% reproducible on our testing system, which is a great number, but that's maybe it's not what we were looking for. That's CI result. So what we do, I'm sure most Debian contributors know that in our test infrastructure, we build a package and then mess up with the environment, so like build in the future and build with weird UIDs and this kind of stuff, and I build it and compare. But the core problem, let's say, is that we are building in today's toolchain. So we are building in today's current status of Trixie in this case. When instead we are not testing like the official builds. In doing so, regardless of that, we actually unveiled many bugs. Like this is a graph from like a few days ago still, and it shows that we found like 4,000 something bugs in Debian over the years, which is, I mean, are real bugs. And these bugs have been mostly fixed, but we still found them. So, I mean, we still find bugs this way, but it's not still what we are aiming for. Also, this number hasn't changed in years. I think, well, for stretch it was way lower, but then it improved over time, but it's still oscillating in 90-something, and 90-something is still a good number, but it's not moving. It's going up and down depending on toolchain issues. It's going up and down depending on our infrastructure is broken right now, but still 90-something. And so there are blockers to actually achieve, like, verifying the official builds. What we want to do is Debian, like the Debian build system publishes deb packages, and we want to take it, do something, and verify that it's actually true. That's the aiming or reproducible builds. And there were a couple of blockers to do this. One that has been fixed in the past year and 2 years ago mostly, and it's about the build info files. And Debian notoriously doesn't rebuild their packages like Fedora does once in a cycle. And so build info files which were added to the Debian build process, I think in 2017, wasn't, like many packages didn't have it. In this case, 3,000 something. Holger, last year and 2 years ago, just done a bunch of NMUs, and now everything has a build info file mostly. Unless there is new and some other small cases that build info file disappears in the FTP system because, yeah. And then there is the very big problem, which is snapshot. If we want to rebuild the packages based on the environment when they were building, we need snapshot. We need the packages that were available back then. So if I want to build like Linux as it was built last December, we need the Debian unstable of last December. And the services that provide this in Debian is a snapshot Debian.org, but the snapshot.org has plenty of issues. I can name a bunch. Several people know the issues, and it's unusable for us. So Frederick, over the years, developed like a proof of concept of a snapshot. So it will like slowly crawl snapshot Debian.org and download everything and publish it in a way that is actually more useful for us. And like also Josh made something about this to make it also useful for him. And but this is very slow working. Also, it was depending on him doing it in his house, and yeah, that wasn't working. Yeah. Also, yeah, of course, we also miss the tooling to rebuild to verify the packages. But we do have some proof of concepts and also some third parties that are doing it, like the New York University. Yeah, in 2019, I believe already, they actually developed something in-house to test Debian packages, and they published a few papers on this. But yeah, I think it's down now, and because the paper is done, so yeah, researchers stop caring after the papers. So we are missing that. Regardless, there is also better test reproducibility.org, which is also developed by Frederick after developing the snapshot proof of concepts. But that's also stopped several months ago. But that's actually very nice. Like this was done. This is a graph of some, yeah, I believe last year, of rebuilding Bookworm and actually verifying the builds in Bookworm. And you can see that it's an 86%, 87 nearly, that were confirmed to be reproducible, which is exactly what we are aiming at. I mean, the one below are mostly like these and these are mostly like testing failures, not actually like build failures, but yeah, so there are problems. And it's depending on snapshot that is down, and this is also mostly down, like the builders are down, so it's kind of annoying. So this is the main, the one issue. Snapshot is not working. It's stopping basically everything. Already? Oh, wow. And so thank you for Frederick, but without snapshot, it's very hard. We have been trying to talk with the snapshot people to get something better, but we have no communication, and this is stopping a lot. And we don't want to rebuild snapshot from scratch because it's kind of out of scope for us, and it's I don't know, it's wrong for me. Yeah, what I was saying. Also, yeah, we have a lot of, we have a funding proposal from Frixian, but it's kind of turned down because we don't have communication with the Debian people, which is kind of, I mean, doesn't make sense for us. So, second issue is the distribution built info files. So from when they were introduced, the built info files caused problems for the FTP people because they're very tiny files, and a lot of them, which is hard to manage in a regular, like traditional way without object storage. And FTP people are not being useful here. Like we tried many times and we just gave up, and we put up this like build info Debian.net, which just SCP everything, and we redistributed them differently, and it doesn't work. And this is also blocked by communication, basically. For the issue, several big projects are not being cooperative here. I'm talking about Linux, GCC, that just broke, like regressed several times because they don't test reproducibility upstream. Like Linux became unreproducible again after introducing Rust, which is, and that's unfixed for now. And yeah, and then there is a last issue, which is installation images. Where, in my opinion, it's mostly also here a problem with the live team and the boot team, which are just not interested. So there is a Roland Klobus, I never know how to pronounce Klobus, which is done a great job. He set up like a rebuilding automatically from Git of the Debian Live, and then he also like test it, verify it, and then send it to OpenQA for like verification that the image is actually working. And yeah, it's a great job, but I mean, it could be better. And then there are other small issues like the release team, which will be with him. We are actually talking about like including reproducibility in the consideration of migration. And this was actually blocked on the build path thing that I mentioned at the start of my talk, and that's kind of over now. And so we possibly could get something in the near future, hopefully. And yeah, exactly. And also a small issue, the repro test, regardless of all the call for people caring about it, has been a maintainer for many years, despite being used in Salsa CI and elsewhere. But I mean, it works, but could be better as well. We don't care enough, unfortunately, so we hope for somebody to care more than us. So yeah, I hope Trixie will improve over time, and we'll get a release that is actually nice and useful, and everybody will be happy. And Okay. After Trixie, of course, we could get better and better. We have like 2050 patches unapplied on the Debian bug tracking system. And we have done a bunch of NMUs in the past years, and this number is still not going down for some reason. So I also hope for like, people here, if they are like in a team and they have a reproducible bugs against them, maybe apply our patches or talk to us if you don't like our patches. And yeah, I think they tell me that I'm actually kind of out of time. So, so thank you for listening to me. And yeah. So.
Yes, I think we will have time for maybe one question. So please raise your hand and I will bring the microphone to you.
I also hope everybody heard me in the back of the room without the microphone. That's great.
I'm next, so I don't have questions.
No questions?
Mark, oh.
Thanks a lot for all your work. If I get some bug fix with patch from you, I try to be very quick.
That's great. Also, if you would like stickers to share the word and spread our belief, I have stickers for you. Yeah, I've been sharing stickers in the table that was here until yesterday. Oh, there is a question there.
Okay, one question.
Towards the beginning, you mentioned something about like what the policy for reproducible builds are, and you said something about the build path changing.
Right.
What about the build path changed and why?
Yeah. So, like what we were going for at the start in Debian was making sure that a build was the same regardless of where it was done. Which I'm still a fundamental believer in that, but that's not quite where the world went. So where the world went in the process of normalizing the build environment. So like there are projects, for example, that share Docker images, and you're supposed to build inside that, and you are supposed to get the same binary if you build inside that, kind of, which I don't like. But there are other approaches, like what we went in Debian now is like building a change route with the same version of the build, which is still fine, and also using the same build path, which is, I guess, it's still fine. It's an easy task to reproduce a build path, kind of. What we were doing was changing this build path, also in the length of the build path, which is also interesting. And okay, and. Well, that was causing a lot of issues because like the build path is embedded in many places and removing it was a lot of work. Like thanks to us, GCC implemented the flag F the path prefix map, which we use in Debian, but it still gets embedded in some places even after that. So hopefully. Yeah, so that's why we stopped using it, because it was varying a lot and it was quite hard to handle, and sometimes it was quite hidden. Maybe because it was stripped, but it will change the bug packages. So I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Yeah, just a remark about the build path change. I know that the build path has been made static now, not a variable, which is gonna help a lot with debugging info-D. We talked about that earlier, because it's gonna probably be possible to serve source code on debugging info-D because of that change.
For a lot of use cases.
Yeah, so I know that's work you guys did, so thank you so much. That's that's basically what I want to say.
Yeah,
so.
The person in front also had a question, I believe. That's. Right.
Yeah, I'll check with you later on the more of the details. Just want to know that is it build reproducible means you're building with the GCC only, or?
Excuse me? Can you repeat that?
What are the build types you are doing? Type of the builds? Is it with GCC only, or?
Oh no, we are like rebuilding the whole Debian package, so it's irrelevant to what's inside the package. Like also, pure Python packages, for example, are being tested this way.
Okay.
And I can assure you, even pure Python packages have reproducible issues. So it's not quite like a compiler problem. It's like from basic packaging, I don't know, like order of the files inside the tarball, to like Python would embed like, how do you say it? Well, also PyC files, for example, have issues, but we are not distributing them. Python documentation have issues due to like randomness in the hashes and the dictionaries before they were ordered. These kind of issues are everywhere, so it's not really related to GCC. Of course, GCC had this a lot of troubles we have to deal with. So we have like source date epoch, if you heard about it. Yeah, that's also introduced by us, and getting GCC to accept it was a major step for it.
Yeah. So do you publish these results now and then, like how reproducibility is?
Oh yeah, of course. Like if you go to
OpenQA Debian.net.
Oh well, OpenQA is about the live images, but like test reproducible builds.org/Debian here is like the results of what I was saying, like rebuilding twice in this current environment, which is what is getting now. Yeah, in 92 because our infrastructure is broken now.
I'm sorry, but I think I have to cut this short. You can grab Mattia later and discuss some more. We'll have the next talk in, I don't know, 6, maybe a little more minutes. Thanks again.
Yes. Thank you for coming.